Hey, good morning, Bobcat Nation. How are you doing? Today we're going to finish up our Charlotte's Web chapter. I think it's the same chapter called Explosion. We broke this up in two parts, so we're going to read the second. So just to give okay, I think where something happened. Just to give a quick summary. Um, they were just basically playing rope, and that's it. Uh-oh. Chris, can you get off the internet connection? Okay, we're back on. Sorry, my internet's not too good. All right. I'm gonna visit Wilbur, Fern announced. They climbed the fence into the lane and walked lazily toward the big pig pen. Wilbur heard them coming and got up. Avery noticed the spider web, and coming closer, he saw Charlotte. Hey, look at that big spider, he said. It's tremendous. Leave alone, commanded Fern. You got a frog. Isn't that enough? That's a fine spider. I'm going to capture it, said Avery. He took the cover off the candy box, then picked up the stick. I'm going to knock out that old spider into this box, he said. Wilbur's heart almost stopped when he saw what was going on. This might be the end of Charlotte if the boy succeeded in catching her. Wilbur's heart almost stopped when he saw what was going on. This might be the end of Charlotte if the boy succeeded in catching her. You stop it, Avery, cried Fern. Avery put one leg over the fence of the pig pen. He was just about to raise his stick to hit Charlotte when he lost his balance. He swayed and toppled and landed on the edge of Wilbur's trough. The trough tipped up, and when it came down with a slap, the egg was right underneath. There was a dull explosion as the egg broke, and then a horrible smell. So that's the explosion that they were talking about. It was the egg. Fern screamed. Avery jumped to his feet away into the barn. Good night, screamed Avery. Good night. What a stink. Let's get out of here. Fern was crying. She held her nose and ran toward them, holding his nose, greatly relieved to see him go. It had been a narrow escape. Later on that morning, the animals came up from the pasture. The sheep, the lambs, the gander, the goose, and 7 goslings. There were many complaints about the awful smell, and Wilbur had to tell the story over and over again of how Arable the boy had tried to capture Charlotte, and how the smell of the broken egg drove him away just in time. It was that rotten goose egg that saved Charlotte's life, said Wilbur. The goose was proud of her share in he said in a surly voice. A rat never knows when something is going to come in handy. I never throw anything away. Well, said one of the lambs, this whole business, you'll get used to it, said Templeton. He sat up, pulled wisely at his long whiskers, then crept away to the dump. When Lurvy showed up at lunchtime carrying he sniffed the air and made a face. What in thunder, he said. He picked up the stick that Avery had dropped and pried through it. Rats, he said. Phew. I might have known a rat might make a nest under the trough. How I hate rats. And Lurvy dragged Wilbur's trough across the yard and kicked some dirt into the rat nest, bearing the broken egg and all of Templeton's other possessions. Then he picked up the pail. Wilbur stood in the trough, drooling with hunger. Lurvy poured the slops and then ran creamily down the pig's eyes and ears. Wilbur's grunted. He gulped and gulped, making swishing and swishing noises, anxious to get everything at once. It was a delicious meal: skim milk, wheat medlings, leftover pancakes, half a donut, a rind of summer squash, 2 pieces of stale toast, a third of a ginger snap, a fish tail, 1 orange peel, several noodles from a noodle soup, and scum off a cup of cocoa, an ancient jelly roll, a strip of paper from the lining of the garbage pail, and a spoonful of raspberry jello. That sounds delicious, right? Wilbur ate heartily. He planned to leave half of a noodle and a few drops of milk for Templeton. Then he remembered that the rat had been useful in saving Charlotte's life, and that Charlotte was trying to save his life. So he left a whole noodle instead of half. Now that the broken egg was buried, the air cleaned and the barn smelled good again. The afternoon passed, the evening came. Shadows lengthened. The cool and kindly breath of evening entered through the doors and windows. Astride her web, Charlotte sat moodily eating a horsefly and thinking about the future. After a while, she bestirred herself. She descended into the center of the web, and she began to cut some of her lines. She worked slowly but steadily while the other creatures drowsed. None of the others, not even the goose, noticed that she was quite a section out of her web, leaving an open cell. Then she started weaving something to take the place of the thread she had removed. When Templeton got back from the dump around midnight, the spider was still at work. So, the next chapter, we will probably figure out what Charlotte is working on. The next chapter, a pre-recorded video. So I know there's a lot of stuff going on tomorrow. So, all right, guys, we miss you. We love you. Stay safe and have a wonderful weekend. It's going to be a warm day today. So make sure you stay hydrated. All right. Peace out, people.